Hello, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to another live. I today have another incredible guest, another Miss Universe sister from 2015. I'm just going to look for her really quickly. Cynthia, if you're in there, I'm about to send you a request. Okay. I hope everyone has been well, had a fantastic weekend, and yeah, we're just gonna wait for our guests to connect before I can. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so
Uh,
much for having me. It's an honor, really.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just trying to pin this comment. It's always a hassle so that people can know what we're talking about and who you are. For everyone who's wondering, this is Cynthia. She is Miss Universe Lebanon 2015, if I'm correct. Hope I got that.
Correct.
Yes, she is. And I think a lot of us have been aware of what has been happening in Lebanon. But in case they don't know, I think Cynthia, you would be at a better position to sort of catch everyone up on what has been happening in your country.
Of course. Well, I don't even know where to begin at this point because honestly, the year 2019 and 2020 has been a very drastic year for the Lebanese people. I mean, it started off with a huge issue that we've had with the government for a very long time. So the people were on the streets, they were protesting for their rights, and we didn't reach the conclusion that we wanted to have at the end. And then eventually the Lebanese lira went to the ground and our economy collapsed completely. And then honestly, we did not expect it to get worse. And then out of nowhere, there was a massive explosion. Top three worst explosions in the world. And in the year 2020, you'd never expect that to actually happen, considering that the explosions that have passed were in the 1940s. So for an explosion that big and drastic to happen in the year 2020 for a country that's the size of a peanut on the map of the world is insane. I mean, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. The pain of the people, the pain of the families that have lost their loved ones. I consider myself lucky to be alive, but it's a shock. We're still trying to process everything that happened, and we're still trying to get out of the feeling, but it's difficult. I mean, it's been 12 days now, I think, and I still feel like it happened yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And hear me when I say, the whole world, our hearts, bleed with what's happening in Lebanon. I mean, it's one thing to deal with a pandemic with the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Now you also have something else on top
Yeah.
of to deal with that. And so
Yeah.
I just wanted to invite you onto this platform to sort of, educate us on what's happening and see how we, as global citizens, because that's what we are, we all exist in this world to make it better. And
Yeah.
so it's always lovely when we can hold hands and help each other where we can. And so I thought it would be a great opportunity to invite you onto here to just hear about what's happening in Lebanon. What are people doing on the ground? Because I know you are working with a lot
Exactly.
of NGOs
Yes.
and a lot of individual people. So I just want to know, what can we do outside of Lebanon?
Of course.
I mean, we're not in there on the ground, but I'm sure there's ways that we can help. Yeah.
Well, first off, honestly, there are so many NGOs that have come together and worked together to be able to find homes for the homeless that have lost their homes. We have about 300,000 people, and the number is still growing, that have lost their homes because it was in the center of Beirut. And, we didn't only lose homes, but we lost historic monuments that were so precious to our country. So that's obviously very difficult for us. Other than that, we have people who are injured. Lebanese Red Cross has been very big providers for that, of course. Ever since the explosion actually happened, they were on the grounds. I mean, they're incredible volunteers. I still praise them because I know my friends were in Beirut when it happened, and they told me that if the Lebanese Red Cross was not there as a rescue team to just help everyone with their wounds, and really it was just so hectic and crazy, and the way these volunteers keep their calm and are so reassuring physically and emotionally, it's incredible. So honestly, I know that the Red Cross in general is usually incredible, but I praise the Lebanese Red Cross because they are just really just angels. And we've got some NGOs that are rebuilding Beirut, actually helping the people that have lost their homes or the historic monuments, just in rebuilding them. I will be sending you a list of all of these NGOs. And we also have a former Miss USA, Rima Faki. She has started a global aid campaign, and it's incredible because we've got huge celebrities like The Weeknd who have contributed about $300,000 of donations for Lebanon. So of course, these donations are helping in every way. I mean, I know for a fact that some of these donations are going to the families who have not been fed or bathed or clothes since the explosion. And also the donations that are going to the Lebanese Red Cross are helping them house up to 10,000 families that have lost their homes. So that's incredible.
Oh man, that is quite.
Yeah.
And what is the well-being of people like right now? What is the mindset? Because we're all outside of Lebanon. We're not really seeing what's happening. We're seeing the videos, we're seeing the pictures, but like how is everything there now? You just said it's like 12 days after. You are on the ground and looking at what's happening over there. Like what's the energy in there like with the people?
Well, honestly, the day of the explosion, I was actually 10 minutes away when it happened. I was in Beirut the entire day, and 10 minutes before it actually happened, my mother and I had left, and we went home. And when I walked into the house, the entire ground just shook completely, and I've never in my entire life been so terrified because so many thoughts run through your mind. You know, you think that war has begun. Did we get hit by a missile? Did an explosion happen behind my house? So going to Beirut the day after the explosion and seeing how my beautiful Beirut was completely just gone, it was a lot, and it was so painful for me to just see all of these buildings gone, and people are still missing. And I couldn't imagine how the families feel, the families that have lost their loved ones for an explosion that was not supposed to happen in the first place. And it breaks my heart. But one thing that made me feel better and proud to be Lebanese is that the people that have come together, and when I say the people, I mean a huge majority of the youth and adults that have come together and started cleaning up the homes of strangers and feeding each other, putting up stands to just give someone free water, anything for the people that were on the ground was so beautiful, because that's not our job. It's not our job to rebuild the country. It's not our job to clean up everybody's house. That's the job of the government. But unfortunately, Lebanon has had a very difficult time with the government for God knows how many years. So at this point, seeing that us, the people, are bringing the country back together, then that just says a lot about Lebanon. Lebanon is not the country. Lebanon is its people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've just seen this common trend of, people coming together. We've had such a sense of togetherness, in 2020. And it's just so unfortunate that it has to come
from something like this.
It's like pain has to happen first, destruction has to happen first in order for us to be here. And I was just reading another, one thing that hit me is finding out that Lebanon and the population would be, poverty stricken in 2020, a lot of people. And it's such a painful realization to have that there's still parts, of the world that are where Lebanon is. And just looking at the gap between poverty and looking at the gap between the rich it's a very wide one. And so many things have been happening that keep widening this gap. And what do you think personally, we can do as individuals? Because I know it's the job of the government to do what they do, but not getting too political, what do you think we can do as individuals to make sure that we contribute towards, a world that is equal?
Honestly, at this point, I really just don't want anyone to stop talking about Lebanon. There's so many posts going around of people saying, please don't stop talking about Lebanon, because it's unfortunate that the world had to find out about my country this way. It's very sad. But at the same time, this is our chance to let everyone see what's going on in our country, from the government to the poverty to the post-explosion and everything that we have gone through for the past God knows how many years. This is the time for us to really take this to our advantage. Yes, it came out from something horrific. Yes, we have lost so much. But because we've lost so much, what more can we possibly lose? We've officially hit rock bottom after this. So at this point, we just want everyone to listen and see and observe how the Lebanese people come together during very difficult times, and understand that there's so many NGOs that are really helping right now, and they're coming together. For instance, I will repeat, the Lebanese Red Cross, we've got Offre Joie, we've got Rebuild Beirut, we've got Embrace, we've got a little NGO right now that has just started called A Plus Initiatives, and they're cooking for people, meals, daily meals for everyone. And it's just, all of these NGOs need your help now. The entire world, whoever is listening, any contribution is going to help, whether it's money or whether it's medication or whether it's food or whether it's just the smallest thing, or even just a simple reposting on social media, so that way people keep talking about Lebanon. It will come a long way, because we need to just, we're starting from zero again. I think, no, we're starting from negative 100 at this point. And we need to go back up and rise again. And you know, everyone says that Lebanon is like the phoenix. You rise from the ashes, and we have risen from the ashes so many times. And this time we really just want to keep standing up. So I urge every single person watching, please donate, spread the word. Thank you so much for giving me this pedestal today, and my platform equal to your platform, to be able to even discuss this. It's an honor, truly. And I ask everyone to just keep spreading the beautiful things about Lebanon. You know, thankfully, we're very grateful that at least half of the explosion or so went into the water, into the sea. Unfortunately, of course, it poisoned our waters, but we've got a cleanup team dealing with everything. But if I just think of the impact that it would have had if it wasn't at the ports of Beirut and it was actually in the center, I'm pretty positive that we would have lost everything. You know, and it's devastating, but at this point, all of these NGOs and all of these people that are coming together hand in hand, it's just, it's beautiful. And I told myself, don't get emotional, but
you know, but sometimes it is okay to be that way and to be vulnerable, if it's one of the ways that people, you know, can see and be able to help out. And I love that you speak about awareness, and I always say it, I repeat it to people, that, you know, awareness is the first step towards social change. Once we are educated about things that are happening, we can spread the word. And I always say, if you don't know what it's about, and if you don't understand, and if you don't have words for it, look for people who do. Find people who have words for it, and start sharing and reposting and making sure that the conversation doesn't die. And I'm hoping that when we do share this information with people, they are able to help, because, you know, it's one thing to tweet and retweet. It's all well and amazing, but to those that who can, you know, it would be absolutely nice to, you know, visit the NGOs, and you are going to leave us a list of these NGOs people can go see. Rima as well, as she mentioned, has one going on as well. So to all the Miss Universe fans, if you can go see Rima's page, you'll see she's been very, you know, active and
she has been, yes,
absolutely, about what has been happening. I don't know if you guys have, you know, questions for Cynthia, or if you have comments about what is happening in Lebanon at the moment. Please drop those questions in there, or your comments, or whatever way it is. Oh, someone said, what a perfect way to explain the whole situation, Cynthia. Bravo. I see a lot of flags from your country coming in. You know, people are very proud of the work that you're doing. People are very proud to be Lebanese, which is, I love that they're able to come here. And I see a lot of comments in your language as well. I wish I could be able to read those, but I can't read those. But thank you so much to all your comments that you guys have been reading. And yeah, we will put on those NPOs and NGOs on our stories, so people can, you know, look out for them in there. That's the one further step that you can take to really, you know,
that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. And you know, honestly, I just I wanted to say one little thing. I've actually lived in Canada half of my life. And ever since I was a little girl, we used to summer every single summer in Lebanon, and I used to be with my family, and I used to think to myself, this is the most beautiful country in the world. And people that visited and have come just to tour the country, they always say the same thing. We can't believe that no one knows about this country. So I really do hope that eventually, when we bring back our country, because we will, knowing the Lebanese people, we are strong enough to do that. I really hope that you will come for a visit and you will see how beautiful my country is, and you can just spread the beauty of Lebanon.
I really hope so too. Cynthia, we just actually came from International Youth Day, and you spoke about how active the youth has been in Lebanon.
Yes.
How proud are you of them, and what do you think it helps that the youth is involved in social issues that are happening? Why is it so important, for the youth to play such a huge role in imparting messages like this, and being impatient and wanting to see, social change?
The youth in general, all over the world, sometimes they might not be as interested and intrigued to know about what's happening in the world, with social media, and there's so many distractions right now. And I hate to say it this way, but the youth in my country have not had their rights. When we're talking about education, about jobs, I have so many friends of mine who are 25 at this point, jobless, can't find a single job opportunity in the country, and have to leave. And we don't want to have to go towards that direction where we have to leave our country and our home, friends and our families, just to be able to get a decent job like a normal human being. So because we haven't had these opportunities, these normal basic needs for any single person from the younger generation, we are fighting for our rights. And the fact that these younger people, I'm talking very early ages, it really starts at like 15, if not earlier, up to the late 20s, you've got these people going on the streets, so educated about every single thing that's going on, really just, I want to say angry, but more just disappointed, and they're just done. They're done, and they're ready just to dive in and be like, you know what, this is our time. We don't want to give up on our country. We don't want to give up on our families. We want to stay here. We want to fight for our country and our rights, our basic needs. It's amazing. And the fact that we have come together and no one is trying to be aggressive in any way, really, they just march in peace, even speaks louder as to the Lebanese population, how they react to things in situations like this. So having the youth join together and be educated about the politics, about their rights, about the situation, speaking their minds freely, which is their number one right, is incredible. It makes me so proud because I am part of the youth. I'm 25 years old. I'm young. I'm on the streets with them. I'm so happy to see that there's so many people around me that are like this. They're just careless and free, and they have nothing to lose. And at this point, they really are just ready for the fight of their lives.
Absolutely.
So
it is beautiful to see. It is beautiful. But Cynthia, not only are you young, you are also a woman. And seeing you and Rima and women like you who are pushing this forward it's so incredible for me, because I love it when women take charge, when they take up space, and they do incredible things. So what is the stance of women on what is happening right now, and just in general with social issues of Lebanon? Do you have a lot of women with you who are standing with you and fighting against every odds?
First of all, I think a lot of people know that there's some type of discrimination towards women in the Arab world, but the women of Lebanon, the way these women are fighting, and it makes me smile and it makes me so happy because they are so strong and they are so will-minded, and they're so ready just to show every single person that even if I'm a woman, you're not gonna take my life away from me. I've seen women during the revolution that we had, and especially now because the revolution is starting again, especially after the explosion, some women are really just aggressive and fighting for everything, fighting for all their rights. If they feel like someone is approaching them in a very negative way, they are just not afraid to stand tall and proud and face all of their fears head on. So I'm so proud to be a woman, and not just to be a woman in general, but to be a woman in Lebanon right now, because women in Lebanon are really just taking a stand. And what makes me even happier is that there are so many men with very large platforms who speak their minds freely about politics and the entire situation, and I'm sure a lot of people know who exactly I'm talking about, that are supporting these women and embracing them and saying that these are the types of women that we want to see on the grounds, these strong-minded women that are ready to fight and have no fear and have nothing to lose. And it just makes me so happy.
Absolutely. And Yeah, it is incredible. I want you to know that you have a partner in me, as a woman to
Thank
stand
you.
with the women of Lebanon, to stand with
Thank
the
you.
young people of Lebanon. And I'm hoping that, all the other women watching here as well can be able to help, because I love a good sisterhood. I love it when, women come together to help each other out. And
Exactly.
I love that the women of Lebanon are rising above any kind of adversity, because like you said,
You have no idea.
we know how it is difficult to be, a woman in the world
Exactly.
today, trying to have a voice and trying to have a stance. So I want to thank you so much for being brave and courageous enough to
Thank
be
you.
on the front lines,
Of
helping in
course.
what's happening in your country, and just using your voice to be that instrument of positive change. I think has been incredible. I've loved watching you and learning from you, and I hope that people follow in as well and continue speaking about Lebanon and
I really hope so.
praying for your country and hoping you get to a
Thank
better
you.
place.
Please pray for Lebanon. To every single person watching us today, pray for Lebanon. I will be sharing, and I hope that you will be sharing as well, all of the NGOs that are working so hard to bring back every single small piece of life to my country. So thank you so much for helping me voice today what's going on in my country.
Thank you, Cynthia. You're most welcome. We will be dropping in the NGOs for
Yes.
people who want to be able to donate and follow and see how they can help. Thank you for joining me on this live
Thank
and
you.
for
And have
coming and
more
just
questions.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Cynthia. We will be following you. We will be trying to push the word and donating as much as we
Thank you.
can. Well, I know that I will, and I'm hoping that people who can also will. But if you're not in a position to donate or to help in that way, you can always use your voice to
Spread
spread
your voice.
awareness.
Exactly. Spread.
Absolutely, your voice is very, very much free, and you can use that.
Exactly.
So thanks once again, Cynthia, for joining me, and
Thank you.
thank you very much to Lebanon and everyone in the comments for being here as well, for sharing knowledge and just being a part of this experience with me. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Very proud to be Lebanese. All the love
Ah,
and appreciation towards you.
thank you. Sending all my love to Lebanon and praying
Thank you.
for the country so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye, Cynthia.
Bye.
Thank you so much to everyone who's just tuned in today. As Cynthia says, she will be sending me a list of the NGOs that you guys can visit to see how you can help. To those who cannot help, word of mouth and just really reposting, retweeting, and speaking about Lebanon. And if you can't, pray for Lebanon as well. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. Watch out for our stories. We will be posting where you can find information on how to help. Thank you so much, and I will see you again on another live.